Welcome to the No Cap Show. My name is Lee, and I've got a very, very special person in the studios.
Hi.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, man.
I'm a
Vibe.
huge Star Trek fan.
Really?
Yes. I've seen everything.
Come on.
So much can be said about Vincent Vineeth.
Mm.
He is amazing. He's an MC. He's a host. He is a phenomenal beatboxer and unparalleled.
Taking a sip of water.
He has broken world records when he was a
Oh.
cultural secretary at Christ University.
This is true.
And he is the official MC and beatboxer for the Under 25 Summit.
Kind of true.
It's very true. And now he is out with his first song. It's called Color,
Yes.
and it's hit 60,000 views on YouTube. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thank you
It's
so much.
so awesome having you in the studios. And you're a personal hero of mine.
Thanks,
I've
man.
looked up to you for a very long time.
Gosh.
And it's surreal to be sitting here and talking to you at the moment.
Let me break the tension in the room.
Thank you for that. This is your debut album and your
Yes.
debut song.
Yes.
I want to know everything.
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 Okay. So, the album drops. First of all, thank you for those kind words. My junior by about 10 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We both went in the
Okay.
same college as well.
Yeah.
But like years apart. And
Yeah.
when you visited, I was just like, yes, this is a person I really look up to. I've seen you at the summits and stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
when you came and you spoke to us in Christ in the
Right.
big main Audi,
Yeah.
I was just enthralled.
With the few questionable jokes that we were talking about
Yes.
just a while ago. So, thank you so much, man, for those kind words. It means a lot to know that at least I've had some form of a positive impact.
You have,
with my
definitely.
journey. So thank you for saying it. The album is about growing up. The album is about me looking at the world as just black and white rather than grays or colors, and which is why releasing a song like Color meant a lot to me as the first track. Funnily, it's the last track I ever wrote as
Wow.
a musician. Like I was saying, it's me as a kid interpreting what the world is all about, and the struggles of growing up, I would say, and understanding what the real world is like, looking at things in black and white rather than, when you're a kid, things are so much more simpler. There is a right and wrong.
Yeah.
There is no in between. There's no
gray.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no confusion.
You're right.
And I think that's a beautiful thing because you either are here or you're not. You're either things are right or things are wrong. And I think that there's something beautiful about that. And which is why the album is called Growing Up and Then Some, because I think I lost a lot of that originality when I was a little kid. And so this album is basically about me growing up from the tiny little kid. I wrote my first song in 2005. I learned my first chord, which was D, and I played D, and it was like a beautiful sounding chord. And then I just added one finger, and it became two chords. I
Wow.
was like, I can write a whole song on this. And I wrote my first song in 2005. And the second song, the second chord that I loved playing, by the way, I love the way the G chord sounds. And so this is a little out of tune. It's warping because
It's
of the
my
studio.
guitar, yeah. It's just
But yeah, so the second song was written shortly after my first song, like less than a month after my first song. And so it's been a journey of those many years. 13?
yeah, 13, 14 years. Yeah, that's
And I finally decided to put this out because I've been in the event space since 2005. I've been trying to make it as a musician. I've worked on the back end of events. I've worked in event management companies. And then in 2007, I started working as an MC. That kicked off really well. There was this really good gentleman named Asif who gave me my first set of gigs. Then there's another gentleman named Tanveer who saw me and said, "Beta, you are amazing. Let me give you more shows." And then I started beatboxing. He's like, "I'm going to make you a star."
wow. And he was right.
Kind of, yeah.
Not kind of, he was right. You toured
Yeah.
all over India as a
Yeah, man.
beatboxer.
Yeah. This is also in 2008 when people didn't know what beatboxing
Yeah.
was. There were no professional beatboxers in the scene. And so I was traveling to Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, like all over the place, like Pune, Chennai, everywhere. And I was doing gigs as a beatboxer and it paid the bills. And so I had to stop trying to make it as a musician and just focus all my energy because you have only so much time. You have only so much of an energy to put in to a career.
Yeah.
And so I decided, you know what? maybe someday I'll come back to this, but I needed to make ends meet, and so yeah, that while I was in college.
As a beatboxer,
Yeah.
like it's been a phenomenal journey for you because
man.
you've done so much. You've always advocated for artist representation.
Yeah.
You know, from a very, very young age, from
Yeah.
2011, I think I read an article where you were touring and you were still trying to tell people artist representation is so important.
Yeah.
Do you think we've come to that stage where it is better in the
definitely.
scene? And
Definitely.
how well are we doing right now?
So back in 2005, when I was playing gigs with my guitar,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting paid about 200 rupees, 300 rupees as a
Wow.
musician in a cafe. And they'd obviously give me food and beverage and all of that. But the fact that I had a cafe that I could do an experiment
Mm-hmm.
and have that space, it was beautiful for me. So I would play about 2-3 gigs a week. And I got into that vibe of being a performer, a live performer. This was a place called Quickies in Koramangala on 80 Feet Road. I don't know if you know that place. It's now called something else. I don't know what it's called. It's diagonally opposite the bus depot on 80 Feet Road in Koramangala.
I think it's Jimmy's now, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I think no. It used to be Jimmy's.
Right.
Yeah, but now it's something else altogether. I forgot what it's called. This gentleman named Rajiv Ramanani owns the place, and he gave me my first set of gigs. He bought me an amplifier. He bought me a mic stand, a mic. He gave me all of it and just got me on my journey. So yeah,
Wow.
big ups to him. And so, like I'm saying, like there were lots of people who did this for me. Like
Yeah.
someone like a Rajiv, someone like an Asif, someone like a Tanvir. All of these guys gave me those opportunities to be where I am today. And which is why when I do the same for other musicians and other creative people. When I do see a little bit of a spark. You, by the way, did a phenomenal job that night at the gig, the tribute night.
Yes.
Right? You
That
did a
was,
phenomenal
thank you
job.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Twice stepping up like a boss, being the MC of the night. So big ups to you. And I remember posting about it also.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, I saw that post and
Yeah.
you posted the time where I just mentioned the guitarist's name and I didn't mention anybody
Yeah.
else's because my phone is in my pocket.
Right.
And I was like, if I take it out now, it's too long and just blank space on stage.
Right.
I remember his name. Even though Kishan Balaji is the main dude and his name is in the entire band, I'm like, Tony, that's a guitar, let's do this. And I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
left.
Yeah.
But I think we all make mistakes when you're,
Of course.
starting off. So
So I wouldn't even think of it as a mistake. I would think of it as a very interesting flow. See,
Yeah.
for people like you and me, we understand these are mistakes.
Yes.
But for the rest of the audience, they are in the vibe of what you're creating as
Yeah.
a performer on stage. So that is their truth. So most people did not see it as a mistake, which is what I think is amazing.
I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That hopefully,
So-
they,
Yeah, it wasn't a mistake.
for them. Yeah.
But like I said, it's important to also keep pushing other musicians, other creative people in the field, and that's the only way we grow, if we help each other. Because when the whole industry grows, when the whole industry gets to a certain level, all of us can make a living.
That's beautiful. I think that's very, very true. And now, as an artist, what do you think your role is in the society? Like, where do you, what role does an artist actually play?
Okay, so I'm only now beginning to accept the term artist, because until now I would just say I'm an entertainer. Every time someone would refer to me as an artist, it was really difficult for me to accept that, because I believe I'm a performer, I believe I'm an entertainer.
Right.
But I'm finally making that transition into speaking.
As an artist.
Yeah, as
Right.
speaking from within and speaking what I believe is the truth. And I think that's what defines an artist, someone who says what needs to be said at a certain time, or does what needs to be done at a certain time in a creative format, and being as true to their truth. And I'm not saying fact.
The truth, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's their form of what their truth is.
Yeah.
And being as authentic as they can, no matter how questionable the conversation is, I believe.
And how does that balance out with when someone says, oh, you're a sellout? Like, I'm not sure, I'm not saying you, but
Yeah.
in general, an artist, sometimes they sell out.
Yeah.
How do they balance? How do you think that balance should go when an artist should stay true to themselves at the same time?
Man,
Make some
okay,
moolahs.
here's the thing. I know a lot of musicians who are superbly talented and they're called sellouts, but they're still the ones making money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there are people like me who are not making money.
No, but
It's true.
Right.
It's the fact. So, especially if you're looking at English in India, performing as an English musician, it is very difficult to make a living.
all right.
Because there are very few indie artists without labels, who are playing these small little cafe gigs, playing in pubs, doing these little tours. When Chai Met Toast is a beautiful example of a band that I have so much respect for. They're doing everything, so beautifully, creating such beautiful music from the heart. And they're currently in London, and it feels nice to see a band coming out of India doing what they really are built to do. And I don't believe they're being sellouts. And hopefully bands like them are paving the way for musicians like me, wannabe musicians like me, because I just put out this track. I'm still not making money from it. Okay, here's the thing. I believe it's very important to figure out the difference between someone who plays music and like a legit musician. Because I believe being a musician, of course, it's a trait, but at the same time, we need to start looking at it as a profession, as a business, and having that respect of paying a certain amount of money to a musician to get music out of him. So that's when I believe you are a professional, which is why I'm very particular about a lot of these terms. And so, I think coming back to your initial question of what it means to be an artist and how authentic and the sellout conversation, you have to find a balance between all the three. As of now, I'm going for the complete art route. I'm speaking from my heart. The music is not as commercial as people would like it to be, but I'm trying to find that little balance there also as a creative person. But let's see where it goes.
I think it's going to go very, very far.
Fingers crossed, man. I hope it does. Because I've been in love with this album ever since I started creating it in 2019. And these little bits and pieces. Today I'm heading into the studio. We're doing the final bits of a song that's supposed to release next month. And I'm just so excited for it. And I'm just in love with the song. It's my favorite track on the entire album. Fingers crossed it comes out beautifully next month.
I can vouch for that. It's a beautiful song. You gave us a little sneak peek before this.
Yes.
And it's just for us, exclusive club.
No one's ever heard it before. Y'all are the first ones to ever hear it, by the way.
So privileged. It's beautiful.
Thank you, man.
It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, do you remember the first time you stepped on stage as an MC?
I do, actually. It was down the road from Christ. There was a small little mall diagonally opposite Forum. And this guy that I was talking about before, Asif, I kept trying to reach out to a lot of MCs and asking them to give me an opportunity to be an MC, because that needs to happen. You need to get those pictures, you need to put it in your reel, but nobody wanted to give me a shot. I don't know why. I went out to about 30 different MCs, event management companies, this and that. But this guy, he just saw a little bit of a spark in me. And he said, listen, I'm emceeing this event. I'm doing it for 1 week. There's a little sale that's going on. All you need to do is come and say, this brand, this much off, this brand, this much off. And if you want an extra coupon, come and play a game with me. And I will give you a coupon for an extra discount on your overall buy. And that was the only job.
Okay.
And he was doing a phenomenal job. I walked in. He said, you're the guy that called me? I said, yes. He said, okay, this is your script. Take some time and watch me do it. And maybe by the end of the evening, I'll put you on the mic. Let's see what you sound like.
Okay.
I said, okay. He got on. He did it once. And I looked at the script. It's the exact same thing. And he had to just repeat that over and over again every 15 minutes. So I told him, listen, I can actually do this. And he said, are you sure? I said, yeah, like it's relatively simple.
Yeah.
So initially he thought maybe I might say weird things on the mic, but I'm really comfortable on a microphone. I'm comfortable speaking to people holding a mic. I'm horrible at like a group of people together and sitting in whatever, like a bar or a social setting and talking to people, because I don't know what to do with my hands, my legs. I get very awkward. But on stage, I'm very comfortable. And I have a flow. Also because it feels like I'm talking to just one person rather than
talking to millions of people.
It doesn't feel like I'm looking at each one of you and having a conversation with each one of you. It's just one-on-one. So that's what it feels like. And so I picked up the mic, did it. He looked at me, he's like, bro, you can handle this. I'll see you later. And he left. And he said,
wow.
And then he called me in the evening. He called the manager. Manager said he did an amazing job. People loved him. He said, take over for the next 5 days. And then he just gave me gig after gig after gig. And so that was the first time I ever got on the mic as an MC.
As an MC, it's not an easy job, actually speaking, because you have to address one person, but at the same time, address everybody, right?
Yeah.
And to walk out there with that confidence, when did you realize that, okay, I can I have that confidence to actually talk to everybody here. Like many people actually freeze when they do public speaking.
Well, for me, it was ever since I was a little kid, I would get on stage and sing at competitions, and I would win every singing competition.
Right.
I've lost one singing competition in my entire school career, and that was in my 8th grade.
Wow.
Every single competition, all the way from like babysitting to LKG, UKG, all the way to the 10th, I won every single thing other than the 8th grade. So that was a natural thing for me to just get on stage and sing.
Right.
And I think because there was that positive feedback, it did really well for my I don't know, ego or
Confidence,
for my,
yeah.
confidence, and I became really comfortable. So it was never a difficult thing to do for me. And like I said, I wouldn't look at the crowd as a crowd. I'd look at the crowd as me having a one-on-one conversation with the person. And it's just like me speaking to you. If I was
Yeah.
speaking to a crowd, I'll do the exact same thing. I don't have to put on an accent. I don't have to be like dressed
Different,
differently.
yeah.
It's just me. It's just, and I try and be as authentic as possible, which doesn't work most of the time.
No, it does. It does.
Well, not in the larger setting of where events are in India. I don't think the requirement for someone like me that speaks like me, because I don't throw in local languages, I don't throw in Hindi, I don't throw in any of that.
It's a very Bangalore-centric accent that you have, and
Maybe.
it's the core of Bangalore, I would say. Like a lot of people, yeah.
Okay, I
Whenever
like
we go outside, I mean, at least people from Bangalore, we have this air about us. I think that just makes everyone like, okay, who's that guy? He's an Indian, but he speaks so well.
Okay.
That happens. Like people have told me this, like when they go abroad and
Interesting.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
John Israel was in our studio the other day.
Yes.
The producer of Color.
Yes.
And tell me that experience of working with John.
Man, John is one of the best things that's happened to the album. The album's called Growing Up and Then Some. He's leading production on the entire album. He started off his journey with me when he was 18. He just turned 21.
Yes.
He was in the studio.
Yes.
And thank you guys for being so kind to him like on his
He was
birthday.
great. He was so
Yeah.
fun. He was so surprised. He's like, I don't know. I mean, this is my first time. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't worry
yeah,
about it. It's
yeah.
going to be fun. And we had a
Yeah.
great time with him.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I'm like really glad he got to do it on his birthday, because I think
Yeah.
that's amazing for someone like him. And he deserves so much more. He is a phenomenal musician. He's a one-man army when it comes to
Really?
production. This guy, mark my words, with or without me, he was going to be someone massive in the industry somewhere down the line. And I mean this when I say it, which is the reason why I'm working with him. And this is his first legit production in terms of an album. And I'm super excited to see what comes out of it. I'm really happy with the first track. I've been working with other musicians and other producers also. I've worked with Judah Sandy. He's the ex-vocalist of Slain, which is how I met him back in the day. There's Jonathan Anand Wesley, who was the keyboardist of Slain, also a Christite. He's played with a bunch of other bands before. He's also a phenomenal producer. I've worked with these two guys. There's another gentleman named Jefferson Dharmaraj. So 4 J's. John, Jeff, Judah, Jonathan. 4 producers in my life right now.
Beautiful.
But John is driving the entire sound of the album, and I'm just super excited for it.
And it is a great song. I mean, like, I cannot have listened to the song. It's on loop for the longest time.
Thanks, man.
And it's just incredible. Can you get a little sneak peek of the
Yeah, do you
acoustic version? Yes.
An acoustic version?
An acoustic version of the song. Here's Vineeth Vincent with the acoustic version of Color.
Color me purple, color me blind. Did you have your heart broken while my hands were tied? I tell you my secrets, love, and who I've lost. Who are these people to tell me what to love and at what cost? These prophets, politicians, and men of gods, so lost to the truth there, where do we start? So I can't let go, no I won't let go, stay for a while. So I can't let go of the light in your soul. I stay for your smile. No, I won't let go of the secrets that made you whole, the naked truth and the lies.
This gives me very Coldplay vibes a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's very inspired by Coldplay. What inspired this song actually? Like in a sense, did any band or?
Well, Coldplay is a massive influence of
Yeah.
mine, quite obviously. I think those guys, even as people, they're very interesting. The kind of things that they stand for, I enjoy and thoroughly respect where their music also comes from, where their inspiration comes from. I know a lot of people don't like Coldplay, which is fine. Oh, a ton of people don't like Coldplay.
Really?
Yeah. By the way, I did a gig, I won't say where, I did a gig with 18, 19-year-olds. Very recently. I got on stage, I played the first chord of Yellow,
Yeah.
and I said, any Coldplay fans in the house? And I went, look at the stars, look how they shine for you.
Yeah.
And I said, Coldplay fans in the house? And the audience just stared back at me with blank looks on their faces.
Coldplay yarado. What?
No, but it wasn't that language, by the way. It's just saying. But no, and they were all English-speaking kids.
That's crazy.
They didn't know who Coldplay was. And I asked, and I stopped playing, and I said, wait, what do you listen to? And they said, Ariana Grande? Billie Eilish? Bro, Billie Eilish? And I
My
said,
God.
it's anyone who's 14 who can play this song? Because, yeah. So, anyway, there are lots of people who don't like Coldplay, lots of people who don't know Coldplay, but Coldplay was a massive influence back then. And I think Yellow came out around that time. If I'm not mistaken.
2007, 2005?
I'm not too sure. It's like 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
20 plus years ago. Coldplay came out with Yellow, and Yellow was a big influence
Yes.
for me. I grew up listening to U2, and I absolutely love the band. So there's a lot of U2 influence. Also, a lot of glam rock. I love glam rock. I love the synths in glam rock. John also loves glam rock,
Right.
which is what is amazing, which is why we really click together. Him as a producer, me as a writer. And I also grew up with a lot of country music. So,
Okay.
It's a combination of a lot of things. 80s rock, I love 80s rock.
Yes.
So all of these are my pillars. They're my foundation, and I can't create things that move away from it too much. So even though I am going a little more commercial on some of the tracks, I still stick to like a Coldplay vibe or a U2 vibe in terms of an inspiration, because whether I like it or not, I grew up on these guys.
Yes.
So respect to them, and this is my form of a tribute,
Yes.
carrying forward that in a form of a respective way, of the journey that they have had.
I feel like one day, 20 years down the line, someone will say, Vineeth Vincent was the one who inspired me, and I still, pay tribute to him.
I'll be 53.
We're manifesting it. I'll be 43. I mean, that's still old. I mean, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Manifesting it right now in the Radio 1 studios.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
Because your song is called Color, if you had to describe your music with one color, what would it be?
Oh, that's a very interesting question, because I've been asking myself that question over and over again. I don't think I can describe my music in one color. Can I give you a little bit of a background before
Yeah,
we
of
get
course.
into the actual conversation? So the background to this is also that when I was growing up, I would be referred to as that black kid.
Right.
And for me, it was quite normal growing up. That black kid, this, the
In
that.
Bangalore, actually, a little bit racist only. I think.
Lots of- across India, dude. It's a regular thing. But here's the thing: when you're a kid, you don't look at that negatively. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I am the black kid. So only when I reached high school did that start affecting me in a negative way, where people started using it as a slur. But very quickly, I took it and I owned it. And so for me, like, black is a vibe for me. It's part of my personality.
Right.
So black is a color I resonate with in a very strong way. But when you look at the music, I had a conversation before about how as a kid we just look at things in black and white. We don't look at things in it's just right or wrong, right? So I don't know. The answer is I actually don't know. So there are these different answers to different questions. But if you ask me, because Even in the lyrics of Color, I say, color me purple, color me blind.
Yeah.
Did you have your heart broken while my hands were tied? Or color me blue, color me queer. So I use different colors because of the different ways these colors made me feel. So I can't put one color to
You mean you can say black because actually black has all the colors in it. So it's not a bad thing by
Are you
any.
drunk or am I? Is there something in this water? This hot water. No, it's just hot water. What? How is it having? Really?
Yeah. White is the absence of all colors.
Yes.
Black is the presence of all colors.
Interesting. I never thought
So
of it that way.
black is actually the not superior one, but what I mean is it's the one with rich color.
Did you all do research about colors before we got into the studio?
I'm a physics student.
Physics?
Once upon a time, yeah.
Yeah! Oh my god!
PCMB in high school.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very
so
nice.
yeah, that's the truth actually.
Interesting. I'm going to go look this up. I find that very interesting.
Vineeth Vincent in our studios.
Getting educated, getting schooled. I like this. I like learning new things.
Thank you so
I'm
much for
pretty
being
sure,
here.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm pretty sure people also learned.
I hope they did. I hope
Yeah.
you guys did, definitely. I mean, black is the presence of all colors. And
Interesting.
Color is out on all streaming platforms. It
Booyah,
is
Pasha.
got 60K views on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenal track.
Thank you
It's
so
so nice to have you in our studios. Now playing for the second time
Yeah.
across India, but on the first time on the No Cap show. Here is Color, going on to Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Bangalore. Enjoy.
94.3 Radio 1.